Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is looking at the facts that the National Police Chiefs Council will be making a decision on guidance that's been proposed to them that would allow trans women to intimately search women. Now, this is bonkers, and I didn't realise that this would only follow legislation and guidance that's already in place from the British Transport Police. And I find that absolutely bonkers. Then when you figure out that they already had a guidance recommendation previously under the Tory government, which they pulled because the government didn't agree with it. So you think, all right, so is Labour just a bit more trans-friendly and they're going to try again? And then when you realise that in November last year, after Labour won the election, that is when and only when the British Transport Police accepted their new guidance where they allow trans women, i.e. men, to intimately search female suspects. Not criminals, suspects. Now, I just think this is absolutely bonkers. We have men and female officers in the police force. The vast majority are happy in their own body. It's only a small minority. So it's not difficult to just have men strip search men and women strip search women. We've been able to do it right up to now without any problems. It doesn't cause a backlog. The police stations are not full of people waiting in a line to have intimate searches. That's ridiculous. So the thing works just now. Yet there seems to be a drive to have the National Police Chiefs Council to change policy going forward. And you actually need to consider what is an intimate search. That is searching cavities, and I don't want to go too descriptive. I think we can all figure out what that means. So if anybody you know, any female you know, is ever suspected of transporting stuff, for example, or hiding, concealing things that they shouldn't have, and that's been suspected, not done, because that's not proven until it goes to court, then you could have a man putting things in cavities of her females and her family and friends. And call me old-fashioned, but I kind of don't fancy that type of society. I would prefer a society where, if that was needed to be done for any legal reasons, it was carried out in, a sort of proper manner, with the less issues as possible for the person that's doing it. And I say that because I do believe that criminals should get treated as criminals. I think sometimes you can be very soft on them. But you're not a criminal until you've been to court and found guilty by your peers. These strip searches are done at the start of an investigation, not the end of it. And I just find this completely bizarre. Why would you want to do that? And the other thing, and I just said a minute ago, I find it totally bizarre that the timing of this, when the last government said, that's a bit stupid, we're not doing that, the British Transport Police put theirs through in November, and now there is a drive to get the National Police Chiefs Council to accept new proposed guidance. If it wasn't proposed, it would mean nobody wants it. So who's driving this? Who in the police force is saying this would be a good thing? In the reality of the situation, you could argue that the chances are so slim, it's very, very low, because I would imagine the amount of people, I don't have the figures, there's about 70,000 strip searches done in the UK in a year. What's that, 10 to 15,000 every week? Quite a lot, right? But because of, I would imagine the majority of them are men. I just say that because it's a fact that men break the law more, so you'd imagine that they get investigated more. So, it's quite a small number that are getting stripped, smaller number than the total number. The minority of the 70,000 are women. And then you need to factor in, well, what's the likelihood of a trans officer? I don't know the percentages, but let's say 1 or 2% are actually men dressed as women in our police forces, right? So the chances of it happening are very, very small. But that's not an argument to accept the rule. That's actually an argument to dismiss the proposals. Because who are we trying to give rights to here? Is it the female or is it the transgender cop? Well, it's kind of the transgender. I mean, why would a transgender cop be that bothered? Why would you want to be doing intimate searches? So, what's driving this? Who's decided and why? I think we should let trans women put their fingers inside women that we think might be hiding something in a cavity. The notion is just bonkers, and try to justify why is equally as bonkers, and try to figure out why and who's driving this is bonkers. Do you know why? Because the whole thing is bonkers. This is just ridiculous. And no wonder there's so many people out there saying, look, to get, you just need a gender recognition certificate, which costs £5. And a doctor willing to say, yeah, you're gender dysphoric, right? Now, that's evidently not a difficult thing to do in this day and age. To find a doctor that will give you that piece of paper and then go and pay £5, get a certificate. And then the police want to say, well, that's kind of enough to satisfy us. If the situation arises where you need to intimately search a female, we're going to let you. You're like, what planet are we on? When did the world become this stupid? When you don't need it. We have a decent number of female police officers who will be well trained in how to carry out strip searches in as dignified as possible manner. Why do we need to pull trans women into that? For the very, very small percentage chance of the situation actually arising. It wouldn't slow a police force up. It wouldn't derail any investigation by saying, oh, hold on a minute, who have we got in the room that you're a guy, you were a guy, but you're now a woman. Oh, there's a woman there. Let's let her do it, right? It ain't that difficult. It's no an impossible thing. We'll manage to do it right up to this moment in time without any need to be pushing for this sort of guidance. The people, quite frankly, that are proposing this sort of stuff shouldn't be in the positions to influence anything. I don't see what logic you can apply to go, that's a good idea. Right? None exists. It is not needed. The process works. We are just doing something else to encourage and embrace wokeness. And it's dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. If you want to accept the notion that men can some point just be in the wrong body and that's completely safe, right? That's fine, right? You must be totally resistant to even considering the chance that there's some fetishes, sexual gratification to be had from men who aren't gay, they still fancy women, right? They still have sexual desires for women. And we want to make it possible for them to intimately search cavities in females. What a dangerous path you're going down with this. Absolutely ridiculous. So if you enjoyed this video, it's a strange word to use, but if you want more people to see this video or any of my videos, there's two things you can do to help. Click the thumbs up button and leave your comments below. Those two things do wonders for the algorithms inside YouTube. And your comments below are always well read. So, and if you've not already done so, please consider subscribing and hit the notifications bell. But, most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person that actually considers putting these things down as proposals, then no you, because you're crackers. Certainly no you, but... Everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.